Hi guys, we have our June 2019 paper 2. Okay, 2H. So this is our formula sheet and our question 1. Okay, so I've already started this, guys, because I made a mistake somehow. I think I put the wrong numbers in the calculator. So we have a frequency table and it says to work out an estimate for the mean. So an estimate for the mean height of sunflowers. Now we don't know the height of any sunflower. We just know that they're in a range between 90 and 100 or 110, 100 and 110, etc. So what we do is we assume all the sunflowers in this range have a height of 95. All the sunflowers in this range have a height of 105, halfway between the two. So we write out all what I call the midpoints. Then I do m times f, which is midpoint times frequency. So I multiply them, this times this, this times this, this times this. And this gives me, because if I want to find my mean, I want to get the total, I want to add up all the heights. So that would be actually adding up 760 plus 1260 plus 1725 plus 1250 plus 405 and dividing by the total frequency, so the total number of flowers, which is 48. And this will give me my estimate for the mean. Now let's make sure I type it in correctly. So this is 760 plus 1260 plus 1725 plus 1250 plus 405, all divided by 48. I get this, which is equal to 112.5, and that is the correct answer. 112.5. That's my estimate for the mean. 4 marks, not a bad start. Question 2. Use a ruler and compass to construct the perpendicular bisector of the line DE. You must show all your construction lines. Okay, so guys, I don't have a ruler and compass, but I'll show you as best as I can what to do. You put your pointy bit of your compass at the end of the line here, and then you get your pen compass and put it doesn't actually have to be on E, but let's say around E, and then we're going to draw an arc somewhere up here like that. So that's like a little arc. This is the pointy bit, this is the pencil bit. And then I draw the same arc. Imagine I'm drawing a circle. So, well, not the same arc, but an arc from the same circle somewhere down here, like this. So this would be a circle around this pointy bit on D. Then I swap and I put the pointy bit here. Now I have to, this is the important bit, you have to keep the same length of the pencil. So it should end up being over in D. And then I draw another arc, and all that matters is that it matches here, that they meet. And I'm going to draw another arc down here and that they meet there. Now you have to show your workings, guys. This is the workings. These little arcs are the workings. And then you join, I'm just going to move this slightly, but obviously you won't be moving it. You then join where they meet, here to here. Okay, that was pretty perfect. So that gives me a perpendicular bisector. It goes straight through the middle and it's perpendicular. And that's it. 2 marks. Once you know how to do it, guys, it's not difficult, but you gotta make sure you know how to do all those constructions. Okay, question 3. The universal set 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right, it's the first 10 numbers. A is 2, 3, 5, 7, and these are actually the prime numbers. And B is 4, 6, 8, 10. Explain why A intersection B is equal to the null set. So basically, A intersection B is what's in both, and there's nothing in both, hence it's a null set. So you can just say no common numbers. There's no numbers in common. If there were, they would be in the A intersection B set. Okay, next one. X is an element of the universal set, so X is one of these numbers. and x is not an element. So these questions are just testing if you understand this notation, guys, so everybody can do this. X is not an element of A union B, so it's not in A or B. What can it be? Well, it can't be 2, 3, 5, and 7, and it can't be 4, 6, 8, and 10. So what can it be? Well, it can be 1, because 1 is there, and it's not in either of these two. And it can be 9, because 9 is there, and it's not in either of these two. Okay, next one. Let's see. Set C is such that A union B union C is this. Okay, so C completes all of these numbers. So 1 and 9 will be in C. It says A intersection B is equal to 2, right? So guys, I'm going to draw it here just so we can all see. Okay, I'm going to draw my 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, nice. So let's say this is get rid of this. This is A, this is B, and this is C. Now he tells us A union B union C is this, right? Fine. So all of these numbers are in all of these. A intersection B, A intersection C is 2. So A intersection C, I need to put a 2 in here. Is 2 in B? No, it's not. So 2 is only there. So I'm going to put in 2. B intersection not C. So that's what's in B and not in C is 4, 6, and 10. Okay, so 4, 6, and 10 are in B and they're not in C. So I'm going to put 4, 6, and 10 here. Are any of them in A? No. So I'm going to put 4, 6, and 10 here. And then it says list all the members of C. Okay, well, we know 1 and 9 are in C. 1 and 9 are in C. We have in A 2, 3, 5, and 7. So I may as well complete this, guys. A has 2, 3, 5, and 7. So 2 there, 3, 5, and 7. And B has 4, 6, 10, and 8. So it also has 8. So where am I going to put 8? Well, I could put 8 here. But let me just think about this. 4, okay, yeah, 8. I can't put 8 here because it would have been there if I could. I can't put 8 there because it's not in A. I can't put 8 here because it's not in A. So I have to put 8 there, which means the members of set C are 1, 2, 8, and 9. So I'm going to put this here. 1, 2, 8, and 9. Okay, and that makes sense that this is empty, guys, because there's nothing in common in A and B. Okay, question 4. A cylinder has diameter 14 and height 20 centimeters. Work out the volume of the cylinder. Give your answer to 3 significant figures, right? I need to check myself, guys. Volume of a cylinder here, yes it is. Volume of a cylinder is pi r squared h. So remember, always check your formula booklet. Pi r squared h. I'm just going to draw a little cylinder just because I can. Not that. Okay, this is a bad cylinder. Let me try that again. Okay, better. I'll paste that here. Okay, so it has diameter 14 and height 20. So this height is 20 and the diameter is 14. Now, if the diameter is 14, that means the radius, which is half the diameter, is 7. Radius equals 7. Therefore, my volume equals pi r squared h, which is pi times radius squared. Radius is 7, so 7 squared times h, which is 20, and we get that. It says give your answer to 3 significant figures. I'm definitely going to use my calculator. It is pi times 7 squared times 20. I get this. Press this, I get 3078.76. 3078.76. 3 significant figures, guys. I have to write 3080 because I go 1, 2, 3. This is my 3rd significant figure. Look right, it's an 8, so round up, and I have to put in the 0. So that's 3080. Okay, that's question 4. Question 5. Josh buys and sells books for a living. He buys 120 books for £5 each. He sells a half of them for this, 40% at this, and the rest at 8. Calculate his percentage profit. Right, this is a difficult question, guys, because they're combining fractions with percentages, with percentage profit. So yeah, look, it's a well-designed question to test your knowledge of all these skills. So let's just break it down. He buys 120 books for £4 each, right? So 120 times 4 is 480. So that's how much he spends. He spends 480 to buy them. Then he sells half of them for £5. So a half of 120 is 60. So he's going to sell 60. Okay, let me just write here, guys. Buys £480. Sells 60 of them. He's going to sell for £5. So he's made £300 already. He's going to sell 40% of them for £7, right? Over here, I'm going to do 40% of 120 equals. So to get 40% of 120, guys, you can do, there's lots of things you can do. I just do 120 times 0.4. I think that's the times 0.4. That's the easiest way to do it. Or multiply by 40 over 100. All the same. 40% is 48. So he's going to sell 48 of them, 48 of the books for £7 each. So right, he's making a good profit here. 48 times 7, calculator, 48 times 7, 336. And then he sells the rest for £8. Now if he's sold, he has 120 books, he sold 60 and he sold 48. What's 60 plus 48? 60 plus 48 is 108. So how many books has he left? Well, it's 12 because 120 minus 108 is 12. So he's going to sell 12 books at £8. 12 times 8, I know that it is 96. Okay, so what's his profit? Let's add up all of these numbers. Plus 300, 336, and 96. 300 plus 336 plus 96, 732. 732. Okay, so he buys them for £480 and sells them for £732. What's his profit? His profit is 732 minus 480. 732 minus 480 is 252. So his profit is 252. Now it doesn't ask what was his profit, it says what is his percentage profit. So his percentage profit is going to be 252 out of, sorry guys, I need to change my color to blue, 252 out of 480, because it's the profit divided by the original times 100 to make it into a percentage, and I get 252 divided by 480 times 100, and I get 52.5%. So that's 52.5, and this is 52.5. Okay. Next question, part B. One book that Josh owns had a value of £15 on the 1st of May 2019. The value of this book had increased by 20%. Find the value of the book on the 1st of May 2018. Right, that's a slightly tricky question, guys, because it's a reverse percentage. It's £15 after the increase. So the way we do it, well, there's two ways to do it. I'll show you both. You can say 120% equals £15 because if it's increased by 20%, then it's gone up by 20%. You cannot do the common mistake is to find 20% of £15. That is wrong. You have to say £15 is 120%, then find 1%. 1% is 15 over 120, and then we're trying to get the original, which is 100%. So it's 15 over 120 times 100. 15 over 120 times 100 is 15 over 120 times 100 is 12.5. 12.5. So £12.50 is the answer. The other way to do it is you can say, okay, it was X originally, and we're going to increase X by 1.2 because we're going to increase it by 20%, and this will give me £15. Therefore, X is equal to 15 divided by 1.2, and this will give me 12.5 as well. This is kind of the more technical, mathematical way, but this perhaps helps with understanding. Both ways are correct. You certainly don't have to do both. Okay, question 6. ABC, DF, they're similar triangles. So guys, they're telling you what topic we're in. This is a similar triangles question. Work out the length of DF. Okay, first thing to do is we get the scale factor. What is the scale factor? Look at the two sides that we know, the two similar sides that we know. We know both of them. It's this one and this one. So the scale factor is 15 over 6, which is 2.5. Use your calculator if you want. That means to get DF, I just have to say DF is equal to 4.2 times 2.5. 4.2 times 2.5 is 10.5. 10.5. And then he says work out the length of BC. So that's this one. So not that difficult, guys. BC is 19.5. Now just be careful, guys. We're going smaller. So this has to get smaller. So instead of multiplying by 2.5, if you want to go from this triangle to this triangle, you multiply by 2.5. If you want to go from this triangle to this triangle, we divide by 2.5. What is 19.5 divided by 19.5 divided by 2.5 is 19.5 divided by 2.5, 39 over 5, or 7.8. 7.8 centimeters. Okay, that's not a bad question, guys. As far as similar shapes goes, that's pretty much as nice as it gets. Okay, question 7. 30 students in a class sat a mathematics test. The mean mark in the test was 26.8. That's the total mean for the 30 students. So this, guys, is a combined mean question. 13 of the students were boys, and the mean mark for the boys was 25. Find the mean mark for the girls. Okay, so combined mean question. What we do is we say, we'll assume all of the boys got 25 marks. So I want to get the total number of marks divided by the total number of people, and equate it to 26.5. So let me show you what I mean. Assume all the boys got 25. So 13 times 25, because that will give me the total number of marks. If you added up all the boys' scores, you would get 13 times 25, because that's what the mean is. Then we're going to add all the girls' scores. So the girls' scores, how many girls are there? Well, there's 17, because if there's 13 boys, there's 17 girls. 17 times something, or 17x, that gives me the total of the girls' scores, because I assume all of them got x. 17 times x, 17 times the mean, gives me the total for all the girls. So the total for all the boys plus the total for all the girls is the total of everyone. Divide that by 30 and we get 26.5. That's the equation. That's the hard bit, and now we just have to solve this. So we'll do it in steps. 13 times 25, 325. So 325 plus 17x equals, I'm going to do 26.5 times 30. I'm going to multiply by this denominator. 26.5 times 30 gives me 795. Okay, subtract this, 17x equals 795 minus 325. 795 minus 325 is 470. 470, and then x is 470 divided by 17. 470 divided by 17 is 27.6, which unfortunately is the wrong answer. So what have I done wrong? 13 times 25 is fine, plus 17 times something is fine. Oh, let's see what I've done. Stupid. 26.8. Okay, so right, guys, silly error. This is going to be wrong. Okay, but my method is still correct. So it's 26.8. 26.8 multiplied by 30 is 804. This is 804. Then I'm going to do 804 minus 325. 804 minus 325 is 479. And then I'll do 479 divided by 17. Divided by 17 gives me 28.2, which is correct. 28.17 to three significant figures is 28.2. Okay, hopefully that makes sense, guys, even with my typo, let's call it. Question 8. Change a speed of x kilometers per hour into a speed in meters per second. Right, so guys, I've done a number of these types of questions, but when we're given a number, so I've done these in my past paper videos. We're given a number to turn into meters per second. Here it's just an x, but remember, x is a number. So it's the same method, but we're using x. So x kilometers per hour is actually equal to x thousand, or 1,000x meters per hour. Now think about that. If we're going x kilometers per hour, then we're going 1,000x meters per hour, because there's 1,000 meters in a kilometer. Fine, so we change the kilometers to meters. Then I'm going to change my hours to seconds, because we want to write it in meters per second. So he's going 1,000x meters per how many seconds in an hour. Now, I've said before, guys, it's worth just knowing. I mean, even just for your general knowledge in life, it is worth knowing there's 3,600 seconds in an hour. How do I know that? Well, there's 60 seconds in a minute, and there's 60 minutes in an hour. So I just do 60 times 60, and I get 3,600. So there's 1,000x meters per 3,600 seconds. But I want per 1 second, because it's meters per second. So meters per 1 second, if you like. So if we can go this far in 3,600 seconds, we can go this far divided by 3,600 meters per second. So this is the answer, but it says simplify, so I need to do 1,000 over 3,600. I'll do it on my calculator. 1,000 over 3,600 is 5 over 18. So the answer is 5 over 18x. Don't forget the x here. So it's 5 over 18x, or 5x over 18 is the same thing. Okay, question 9. Solve the simultaneous equation. So hopefully, guys, you've seen many of these and practiced many of these. It shouldn't be that difficult. I'm going to multiply this one by 2. If I multiply this one by 2, I'll get my y's the same. So x plus 2y equals negative 0.5. This times 2, 6x minus 2y equals 32. So I multiply everything by 2. Put a line underneath, and I'm going to add. I'm adding them because these two have the same sign. 6x plus 1x is 7x. These cancel, plus 0 if you like, and minus 0.5 plus 32 is 31.5. X is then 31.5 over 7, which I think is 4.5. Let me make sure. 31.5 over 7 is 4.5, correct? 4.5. Once I have x, I'm going to sub x into one of these equations. I'll choose, it really doesn't matter. Let's go with this one, into equation 1. So I have, well, I'll write the equation. X plus 2y equals minus 0.5. I'm subbing 4.5 for x. 4.5 plus 2y equals minus 0.5. 2y equals this minus this, which is negative 5. Use your calculator if you're in doubt, guys. And then y is negative 5 divided by 2, negative 2.5. That's my answer. X is 4.5. Y is negative 2.5. Okay, question 10. The straight line L has a gradient of 5 and passes through the point with coordinates 0, minus 3. Write down an equation for L. Okay, this should be easy, guys. It says write down. I don't need to show any working. We know the formula y equals mx plus c, where m is the gradient. Our gradient is 5 because he tells us m is the gradient. So 5x, and the c is the y-intercept. And because the coordinates are 0, 3, think of a coordinate 0, 3 like this one. It is the y-intercept. If the x is 0, that is the y-intercept. Hence, I'm going to put, 0 minus 3 would be here. But it's the principle applies, so it's just minus 3. And that's it. Okay, part B. The region where is that gone? The region shown, shaded in the diagram, is bounded by 4 straight lines. Write down the inequalities that define or. Okay, so these are often the difficult questions, guys, the inequalities to define a region. But because these are all horizontal and vertical lines, this actually isn't too bad. So I have one line there. I have one line here. I have one line here. Let's try that again. One line here. And I have one line here. So those are my 4 lines, and it's the region bounded between them. So this is the region. So essentially, what are these lines? Well, this line here is x equals 2. This line here is x equals 0. Hang on, I'll change the color. This is x equals 0. Remember, the vertical lines are x equals. The horizontal lines are y equals 3. And this line is y equals 1. Now, all I have to do is go, let's start with the blue line. Is it above y or below y, the region? Well, it's above or below y equals 3. Well, it's below the blue line. So my first inequality is y has to be less than or equal to 3. I'm doing or equal to because the line, it's a solid line. However, the mark scheme will accept if you just do less than 3. But I'm going to go less than or equal to. The green line, let's do the other horizontal. So is it above or below the orange line? Well, it's above the orange line, hence y is greater or equal to 1. Is it left or right of this green line? Well, it's left, so x has to be less than or equal to 2. And is it left or right of the pink line? Well, it's right, so x has to be greater or equal to 0. So those are the four inequalities that you have to write down. This is the reason. That's as nice an inequality region question as you'll get, because as I said, they're all vertical and horizontal lines. But I think it's a good question, and if you understand this, it might help you understand the more difficult ones. Okay, so far, guys, I would argue this exam paper is not too bad relative to some of the other ones I've seen, at least. Question 11. The table gives the average crowd attendance per match for each of 5 clubs for 1 season. This is the average crowd attendance. Find the difference between the average crowd attendance for Barcelona and Monaco. Give your answer in standard form, right, guys? With a calculator, these questions are easy because you just have to do the difference between 7.7 times 10 to the 4, that's Barcelona, and Monaco, 9.5 times 10 to the 3. Now note, I have, I'm subtracting them because it said the difference. But these calculators, guys, you can just literally write down 7.7 times 10 to the power of 4 minus 9.5 times 10 to the power of 3. And that gives me 67500. 67500. But he wants the answer in standard form, so I need to change this to standard form. Remember, I can, oh no, I can't do it to standard form. So I need to change this to standard form by myself, which I can do. It is 6.75 times 10 to the power of, and I go, how many times do I multiply by 10? Well, I go 1, 2, 3, 4. So it has to be 10 to the power of 4. Okay, the average crowd attendance, Antonio says the average crowd attendance for Chelsea is approximately 50 times that for Oxford United. Is he correct? And give a reason for your answer. Okay, a few ways to do this. Let's see what 50 times Oxford United's attendance is, and let's see is it the same as Chelsea. I'm guessing it isn't. So Oxford is 8.3 times 10 to the 3. And we need to multiply this by 50 because it is, we want to find what 50 times this is. So this multiplied by 50, let's do that, 8.3 times 10 to the power of 3 times 50, and this is 415,000. 415,000 as no, still not working. I think if the numbers are bigger, it will give you the number in standard form. So this will give me, well, is this the same as this? No. So this is equal to 4.15 times 10 to the power of, well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so this is why Antonio is definitely wrong. Antonio is wrong. Antonio is wrong as, and I'm going to leave this as you're working, but as 4.15 times 10 to the 5 is much more than Chelsea's. Chelsea's is only 4.2 by 10 to the 4. So it's much more than Chelsea's average attendance. Okay. During last season, the cost of a ticket to watch C Prawn United increased by 15% and then decreased by 8%. Work out the overall percentage change in the cost of a ticket to watch C Prawn United. Okay, so we don't have C Prawn United's attendance, but it increased by 15%. So whatever it is, let's call it X. It increased by 15%. So I'm going to multiply it by 1.15. But then it decreased by 8%. So now I'm going to multiply by 0.92. 0.92 because 100 minus 8 is 92. So I want to get 92%. Hence why I multiply by that. And this is equal to, if I multiply 1.15 times 0.92, I get 1.058x. 1.058x. So I don't really care about the x because that could be any number. What I care about is what is the overall percentage change. Well, it is increased by 5.8% because it's the same as if I multiply by this and this, it's the same as multiplying by 1.058. Therefore, the overall percentage change was 5.8%. Okay. Question 12. Okay, so we have a trapezium, and it says calculate the perimeter of the trapezium. So this, guys, this is a trigonometry question, because look, we have an angle here, 43 degrees. We don't know this length, and we don't know this length. We just know this one and this one. So the first thing to do, I wouldn't say it's obvious to do this, but to me it makes sense, is to draw this line straight down here, because now I have a right angle triangle with an angle, and I know this length, it's 16.7, and I know this length, by the way, it's 21.2. So basically what I need to find is x and y, and then I'll just add this plus this plus this plus x plus y, and that's my perimeter. So to get y, I'm going to use SOHCAHTOA. So it is opposite hypotenuse. So I'm going to say sine of 43 degrees is equal to opposite 16.7 over hypotenuse, which is y. Multiply across, y sine 43 equals 16.7, and divide by sine. So y is equal to 16.7 divided by sine 43. I can put that straight into the calculator. 16.7 over sine 43, close bracket, 24.49. I'm going to go 24.49, at least one more than the 3 significant figures that he wants. So that's y. Now to get x, similar kind of thing, except we're going to use tan. So tan 43, tan because it's opposite and adjacent, TOA. Tan 43 is 16.7 over x. Same kind of thing here, guys. I'm going to multiply by x. X tan 43 equals 16.7, and then I'm going to divide by tan 43. Tan 43. This gives me 16.7 over tan 43, close bracket, and I get 17.9. 17.91. So then the perimeter P is equal to 21.2 plus 16.7 is this plus 21.2 plus x, which is 17.91, plus y, which is 24.49. And hopefully, guys, this will give me the right answer. So 21.2 plus 16.7 plus 21.2, because that is a typo, 21.2, plus 17.91 plus 24.49, and this gives me 203 over 2, or 101.5. 101.5. Now, guys, this I need to change to 21.2. 21.2. And the answer, guys, the answer correct to 3 significant figures is actually 101. Now, I'm guessing 101.5. I'm guessing that they will accept. So this, okay, I round. See, this is the slight issue, guys, I rounded here, so maybe they wouldn't accept. I should probably have done a bit more. So let's write, this is 24.4868. So this is 24.4868, and x is 17.9085. 9085. So this is what I'm often talking about, guys. Don't round in the middle of the question. So now when I add up 17.9, let's say, let's remove this. It's most likely, guys, I would still have got full marks for that, but let's just be extra correct. My x is 17.9085, and my y is 24.4868. Now when I do this, I'm gonna get, so 17.9085 and 24.4868, and I get 101.4953, 101.4953, and that does round to 101. So as I say, most likely I would have got full marks, but that's the more correct answer, because 101 to 3 significant figures. Okay, next one. This table gives information about the times taken for 80 taxi journeys. Complete the cumulative frequency table. Right, this is easy, guys. 1 mark. All I have to do is accumulate or add them together. So that's 7. 7 plus 10 is 17. 17 plus 12 is 29. 29 plus 19 is 48. 48 plus 18 is 66. And 66 plus 14 is 80, which I'd expect because it's a total of 80, right? So that's only one. That's 1 mark. Then it says on the grid, draw a cumulative frequency graph for your table, right? So what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to draw a point at 5, 7. So 5, 7 is there. That's 7. We're going to draw another one at 10, 17. 10, 17. Try to be as accurate as possible. 15, 29. 15, 29. These small boxes are in ones, so it shouldn't be a problem. 20, 48. 20, 45, 46, 47, 48. 25, 66. And then 30 is 80 here. And then it says draw the cumulative frequency graph. So I need to join these together, and I need to start at 0, and I need to, as best as I can, and guys, I'm always saying you can do better than me because I have this weird pen. Okay, that's about as good as I can draw it. Right, now once you have that, actually, guys, I feel I have to draw that again. Sorry. Okay, let me try one more time. Draw this to here, through that, through this, and up to there. Okay, my other one was probably better. Anyway, that's the graph. Then it says use your graph to find an estimate for the median. Okay, median, we go to half of 80. What's half of 80? 40. And we draw a line straight across, and then we draw a line straight down, and we get 15, so 16, 17, 18. this is 18. So the median is 18, and that's actually right what they wanted. They said they'd accept anything between 17 and 19. So the median is 18. And then use your graph to find an estimate for the interquartile range. Right, interquartile range. We need to find the lower quartile. So we get a quarter of 80 is 20. So we go across and then down. And that's 11.5. And for the upper quartile, I need to go to 60. I go to 60 across and then down. This is 21, 22, 23.5, 23.5. So the interquartile range is 23.5 minus 11.5, which is 12 minutes, and they say they'll accept anything between 9 and 13, so I would be correct. Okay, question 14. Here are two vectors. Find the magnitude of AC. Right, guys, with vectors, draw the vectors. If AB is 6 minus 9, that means if this is A, we'll start at A. 6 minus 9, we're going to go along 6, down 9. It'll be somewhere like this. Okay, this is B. And then be very careful, because so this is 6 minus 9. This is CB. CB is 1, 3. So 1, 3 would actually be somewhere, let's say, here. Now, again, obviously, guys, it doesn't have to be perfectly accurate, but this is C. This is about 1, 3. So this kind of looks somewhat accurate. We go from A to B, 6 across 6 and down 9, and from C to B along 3 and up 1. Actually, guys, now, oh, sorry, yeah, correct. Along 1 and up 3. So it's kind of fine in terms of the drawing. Now, what we want to find is the magnitude of AC. So to find the magnitude of AC, first we find AC. How do I find AC? Well, I'm going to go AB plus BC. Now that, guys, is not BC, that is CB. So I'm just going to, at the side down here, I'm going to say BC is equal to minus 1 minus 3. If CB is 3, 1, or sorry, if CB is 1, 3, then BC is minus 1 minus 3. Remember, the opposite, our vector going the opposite direction will have a negative, or it'll be the opposite sign. So to find AC, I can get AB, which is 6 minus 9, plus BC, which is minus 1 minus 3, and add these together. 6 minus 1 is 5, minus 9 minus 3 is minus 12. And now I just need to get the magnitude of this. How do I get the magnitude of that? Well, I write it like this to begin with, and then I just use Pythagoras' theorem. So it's actually the square root of 5 squared plus 12 squared. If you want to write it as plus negative 12 squared, fine, but often students mess up make a mistake with the minus. So because it's distance, you don't even have to worry about the minus. Just put 5 squared plus 12 squared. And this, I believe, guys, is 13. If you recall, it's one of the nice Pythagorean triples, 5, 12, 13. But obviously, use a calculator if you want. Square root of 5 squared plus 12 squared is 13. Hence, the length of AC is 13. Okay. That, guys, not an easy question, of course, as none of the vectors questions generally are, but I've definitely seen worse vector questions. Question 15. Make X the subject of the formula. Okay, so also again, guys, we're getting here now towards the not easy questions, but this is what I would call a familiar question. I've seen this question many times before. So the first step is to remove the square root. How do we do it? We square both sides. So I say y squared equals 3x minus 2 over x plus 1. Square root is gone. Now I need to remove the denominator. So I multiply both sides by x plus 1. X plus 1 y squared equals 3x minus 2. Multiplying this side removes the denominator. Okay, this is kind of the tricky bit. You have to multiply out first. So we do x y squared plus 1y squared, which is just y squared, equals 3x minus 2. Then get my x's on the left, x y squared minus 3x, subtract this 3x, equals minus 2 minus y squared. Get everything else on the right, because I'm trying to make x squared the subject. Then I am going to factorize out the x, right? So yeah, this is the kind of tricky bit. I take out the x, y squared minus 3 is equal to minus 2 minus y squared, and then I divide by this, x equals minus 2 minus y squared over y squared minus 3. And that's correct, guys. That is the right answer. The mark scheme actually gives 2 plus y squared over 3 minus y squared, which is the exact same thing. If you multiply above and below by minus 1, you get this. It looks a bit better because there's no minuses there, but you would get full marks for this and this. Okay, that's question 15. Question 16, show that this can be written in this form. Show each stage of your working. Right, again, I would argue this is not an easy question, but it is familiar. We've seen this type of question before, and we know the trick. Well, I do at least. What we do is we multiply above and below by the conjugate of the denominator. So root 2 minus 1, we're going to multiply by root 2 plus 1. Now we multiply above and below because I can do that because I'm basically just multiplying by 1. Now I'm going to put a bracket here, guys, and a bracket here. Be careful, we're multiplying everything. So I have to do what you may remember as FOIL or whatever you want to call it, but you're going to do the 4 times root 2, 4 times 1, and then root 8 times root 2 and root 8 times 1, and then you have to do the same with the denominator. Okay, so 4 times root 2 is 4 root 2, 4 times 1 is 4, root 8 times root 2 is root 16, and root 16 is 4, so that's plus 4 again. Use your calculator, guys, if you need to, and then root 8 times 1 is plus root 8. All divided by root 2 times root 2 is 2. Root 2 times 1 is plus root 2. Minus 1 times root 2 is minus root 2. And minus 1 times 1 is minus 1. Okay, so this is equal to 4 root 2 plus 4 plus 4 is 8 plus root 8 all over. These two nicely cancel, guys. Root 2 minus root 2 is 0. That is the whole reason why we multiply by this and this, because they cancel. And 2 minus 1 is even more nicely equal to 1. So we're nearly there. We have 4 root 2 plus 8 plus root 8. Now, guys, root 8, if you do root 8 on your calculator, you can see it's actually 2 root 2. So this is 4 root 2 plus 8 plus 2 root 2. Why is it 2 root 2? Well, look, root 8 is equal to root 4 times root 2. Root 4 is 2, and root 2 is 2 root 2. So we get that. So it's 4 root 2 plus 8 plus 2 root 2, which is equal to, in this form, 8 plus 6 root 2. And that's the answer. Question 17. Y is directly proportional to the cube of x. So straight away, guys, I'm going to write y equals kx cubed. Directly proportional, so it's equal to k times x cubed. Y is 20h when x is h, right? I'm going to put 20h for y, and I'm going to put h for x, like they've said. And then I can just find k. K is 20h over h cubed. K is equal to 20 over h squared. The formula is then y equals k times x cubed. But, sorry, yeah, k times x cubed, but k is 20h, 20 over h squared. So y is equal to k, 20 over h squared, x cubed. That's the answer. I'll put that, well, down there. Get rid of that. Okay. Obviously you could write it as 20x cubed over h squared. Same thing. In fact, maybe that would be better. 20, hang on, let's put this back here, and I'm going to write y is equal to 20x cubed over h squared. Okay, find x in terms of h when y is equal to 67.5h. Right, so now I'm just going to equate this 20x cubed over h squared, that's my y. This equals 67.5h. Then I'm going to multiply across by h squared. Get rid of this denominator. I'm going to move up here now. So 20x cubed equals 67.5 h cubed, because h times h squared is h cubed. X cubed is then this divided by 20. So I'm going to do 67.5 divided by 20, which is 27 over 8, which is a number I really like, guys, because it has a perfect square root. So it's 20, or cube root, 27 over 8 h cubed. That was my 67.5 divided by 20. And then x is the cubed root of this 27 over 8 h cubed. Now, guys, look, you can do the cubed root on your calculator if you need to. The cubed root of, so cubed root 27 over 8, but I'd like you to know what that is. It's going to be 3 over 2, because the cubed root of 27 is 3, the cubed root of 8 is 2, and we get 3 over 2. And then the cubed root of h cubed is just h, because h times h times h is h cubed. So there we go. So the simplified version is 3 over 2 h cubed. When you get an, sorry, just h. When you get an answer that nice, I don't even need to check that I'm right, because you know you're right. Okay. Question 18. So we have a solid cuboid, and it says the total surface area of the cuboid is A. Find the maximum value of A. Okay, this, guys, is not an easy question. This involves differential calculus. If you haven't studied calculus yet, you won't be able to do it. And if you have, it's, well, look, it's not that hard. Okay, so first thing we should do, and we can all definitely get the surface area in terms of x. That's what we need to do first. What is the area in terms of x? Well, there's 6 sides. There is, let's do this. A square. The bottom one has an x and an x, but there's 2 of these. So this times 2. There's this one and this one. And then, because it's like a square-based cuboid, this has, the side of the cuboid has 12 minus 3x times x, this times this. And there's 4 of these. So there's There's 2 of these squares times 2, and there's 4 of these times 4. Now the area of this is x squared, so the area is 2x squared, 2 of these, because x times x is the area, times 2, plus 4 of these. Now what's the area of this? Well, it's x times 12 minus 3x. X times 12 minus 3x. So that is the surface area in terms of x. X times x plus x times x plus x times 12 minus 3x 4 times. Okay, once you understand that, let's multiply out. This becomes 4x times 12 is 48x. 4x times minus 3x is minus 12x squared. Simplify this to 48x minus 12x squared. No, sorry, minus 10x squared. Because we minus 12x squared plus 2x squared gives me the minus 10x squared. Okay, then it says find the maximum value of A. Maximum value. So that's how I knew straight away, guys, it was calculus, because to find the maximum value, or the minimum value for that matter, you have to say, let's say max occurs when dA dx equals 0. So I need to get the derivative. So how do I get the derivative? Well, if that's A, dA dx is multiply by the power and subtract 1 from the power. So 48x becomes 48. 2 times 10 is 20. 2 minus 1 is x. There we go. So that the derivative of this is this. And then I'm going to say let equal to 0. So let this equal to 0. 48 minus 20x equals 0. Solve this. 20x equals 48. So I've added the 20x to this side and then just swap them. And then x is 48 over 20. 48 over 20 is 12 over 5. Simplified. 12 over 5. Let's write that as a decimal, just in case. That is 2.4. So that's the value of x that maximizes the surface area of the cuboid. But we want the value of A. We want the maximum value of A. Look, it says it here. So that's x. We need A. How do I get it? Well, I'm going to sub into A equals 48x minus 10x squared, because that is the area. So A equals 48 times 2.4 minus 10 times 2.4 squared. Use your calculator. Definitely 48 times 2.4 plus 10 times 2.4 squared gives me 172.8. 172.8, which, guys, I hate to say 172.8 is not correct. What have I done? Oh, I see. I've added it. Hang on. Let's do that again. It's minus this, and I get 57.6, which is correct, thankfully. 57.6, remove this. Be very careful, guys. Look, even I make mistakes. 57.6. Okay, question 19. ABCD is a quadrilateral. The area of triangle, this is 250. So the area of ACD, this is 250 centimeters squared. I'll just write 250. Calculate the area of the quadrilateral. So we want the whole quadrilateral. So I need this area basically. Show you're working clearly. Give your answer to 3 significant figures. This question, guys, is hard. In fact, look, it's 6 marks and they've given us 2 pages to do it. So it definitely must be hard. Okay, so I need to find the area of this triangle. So it kind of is an area of a triangle question. First thing I can definitely calculate straight away is this angle. It's just 180 minus 95, 180 minus 95 minus 47, which is 38. So this angle is 38 degrees. To get the area of a triangle, I need to use the formula. The formula for the area of a triangle is a half AB sine C. Sorry, where you basically need 2 sides and the angle between them. So if I had the length of 2 sides, I could use this, but I don't. I don't even have the length of 1 side. And, well, let's then look to this triangle. This triangle, I have this side. I would like to know this side. I can't use the sine rule. I can't use the cosine rule because I only have 1 side and 1 angle. But I have this area that he's given me. So I can actually say, let's call this side here x. I can say a half x times 26. So let's do the 26 first. A half 26 times x, this times this, times sine of 39 equals 250. That comes from my formula. A half a b sine c equals area. And then I can solve for x here. So guys, that x is not a times sign, that's actually an x. So I can say x is equal to 250 divided by, I'm going to skip a step here, guys. 26 times a half is 13. So 13 sine 39. So I'm dividing by this and this. This gives me 250 over 13 times sine 39, which is 30.558. So 30.558. Okay, now I have a side. I have x. That's 30.558. I could do with another side, however, like this one. Let's call it y. If I have y, then I can use this formula again, a half this times sine of this, to give me the area of the triangle. I'll add it to this and then I'll be done. So how do I get y? I think I'm going to use the sine rule. So I can say y over sine 47, I always start with what I'm looking for, guys, is equal to x over sine 95. Now x is 30.558 over sine 95. Multiply across, y is equal to 30.558 times sine 47 over sine 95. All of this in my calculator, please. I do this, I get 30.558 times sine 47 over sine 95, and this equals 22.434. 22.434. Right, now, so that's only x and y. So guys, this is why they've given us so much paper to write this. I'm trying to fit it in here. So area of triangle ABC, area of ABC is equal to a half. Let me move this down. So the formula, guys, is a half AB sine C, which is a half these two sides. So it's a half x times y. Let's write this first. X, y, sine 38. Because it's a half times this side times this side times the sine of the angle between them. So this is a half 30.558 times 22.434 times sine 38, and this is equal to a half times 30.558 times 22.434 times sine 38, and that gives me 211.02. Well, let's go 03. 211.03. I am very nearly finished. So what's left is, that is the area of ABC. So the total area of ABCD, area ABCD, is equal to 211.03 plus, that's this triangle, plus the 250, plus 250, and that gives me 411.03. He says 3, oh, that's not right, gives me 461.03. He says 3 significant figures, so that is approximately equal to 461, which thankfully is correct. 461, I'll put it here. Okay, question 20. So we have the equation of a line, we have the equation of a curve. L and C intersect at 2 points. Find the coordinates of these 2 points, right? This is simultaneous equations where one of them is non-linear like this. So what we do is we use substitution. We're going to sub this into this. So we get, let's write that down. Sub L into C. Now what does that mean? Instead of y in C, x squared minus 3x, I'm going to put y. Let's change color, guys, just for fun. 3x times y, 9 minus x. Obviously you don't change color, but I just want to make a point. It's 3xy, but our y is 9 minus x because y equals 9 minus x. There you have it. And then plus 2, again, y squared, but our y is 9 minus x squared. And this equals, actually I could even put that in blue. This equals 0. So look, you have your x squared minus 3xy plus 2y squared. So that's the first bit, and then we have to multiply all this out, and obviously it's difficult algebra. Minus 3x times 9 is minus 27x. Minus times minus is plus 3x squared plus 2 times. Now this, guys, we're going to do separately. So it's 9 minus x times 9 minus x, and this equals 0. Right? Let's go. I have x squared minus 27x plus 3x squared. Actually, let's join this, guys. Why not? That becomes 4x squared minus 27x plus 2 times. Guys, leave the 2. Forget about the 2. Leave it outside, and we'll multiply these out separately. So 9 times 9 is 81. 9 times minus x is minus 9x. Minus x times 9 is minus 9x. Minus x times minus x is plus x squared. this equals 0. Another line, minus 27x, multiply out the by the 2. So 2 times 81 is 162. 2 times 9 is minus 18x. 2 times 9 again, minus 18x. 2 times x squared is plus 2x squared equals 0. Join the x squareds together, 6x squared. Join the x's together. Minus 27 minus 18 is minus, what is it? Minus, I need to use my calculator, guys, because I do not want to make a mistake. So minus 27, I'll answer, negative 27, minus 18, minus 18 again, minus 18, minus 63. So it's 6x squared minus 63x plus 162 equals 0. Okay. Can I divide everything by 6? No, but I could divide everything by 3. So this would give me 2x squared minus 21x plus this divided by 3 is 54. Okay, now I need to get x. So guys, what we can do is, using our calculator, we will go to equation. This is obviously a horrible quadratic to solve. So I'm going to go to polynomial, degree 2. I'm going to say that's 2. I'm going to say that's negative 21, and that's 54. And I'll say, can I have my answers, please? It's 6 and 9 over 2. Okay, so that's just going to help me to factorize this. So I'm going to say 2x and x. This is, the factors of 54 are 9 and 6. So I'm going to go 9 here and 6 there. This is helping me because if my x's are 6 and 9 over 2, then this has to be, well, they're both going to be minus. That's minus 6 and minus 9. So my factors are 2x minus 9 times x minus 6 equals 0. 2x minus 9 equals 0, or x minus 6 equals 0. 2x equals 9, x equals 9 over 2. Or x equals 6. Okay, so these are my two x values. Once I have my two x values, I can get my two y values. So when, let's do it over here, when x equals, let's go 6, then y equals, from this, 9 minus 6, which is 3. When x, when x equals 9 over 2, or 4.5, when x equals 4.5, y equals 9 minus 4.5, which is 9 minus 4.5 is also 4.5. So my two solutions are x is 6 when y is 3, and x is 4.5 when y is 4.5. Okay, that is question 19. Oh, sorry, question 20. Question 21. for this cuboid, the length of AB to BC to CF, so this to this to this, the ratio is 4 to 2 to 3. Calculate the size of the angle AF and the plane ABCD. Give your answer to one of this. Okay, so what on earth is he asking? So first thing to note is the angle he wants is actually, if I go AF, so imagine I draw a line straight from A to F, and then I'm going to draw a line from A to C, and I'm even going to draw this line up like this. So the angle he's looking for is this one, because this is the angle that the line AF makes with the plane ABCD. So the plane is kind of like the bottom of the box, if you want to think of it like that. So he's looking for this angle, let's call it X. Okay, next thing to see is the length of AB to BC to CF is 4 to 2 to 3. Now, because we're dealing with, because we're trying to find an angle, the ratios, we can essentially think of them as lengths. So this AB is 4, BC is 2, and CF is 3. Now, if you wanted to make them 40, 20, and 30, that would also work, because when you use SOHCAHTOA, remember SOHCAHTOA, what sine, cos, and tan are, they are ratios. Sine is the ratio of the opposite to the hypotenuse of a triangle. In a right angle triangle, tan is the ratio of the opposite to the adjacent in a right angle triangle. So you can put the 0 in for each of them, but it actually doesn't make a difference, and it would make things slightly more complicated. So I may as well just leave them as 4, 2, and 3. So I have 4, I have 2, I have 3. Now this question is now kind of familiar to me, at least, because I could get this angle X if I knew the length AC. Now I don't know the length AC, but I think I can find it. I can find it by looking at this triangle here, this one, this bottom triangle. So if you look at this triangle, imagine this is a rectangle on the ground. Well, this triangle ACB is actually a right angle triangle. Now, that's a right angle. This is A, B, C. Why is it a right angle triangle? Because this is a cuboid. This is a rectangle. It's just drawn in 3D. So if this is 4 and this is 4 AB and this is 2, I can get this length here, let's call it Y, using Pythagoras' theorem. So I can say y squared equals 4 squared plus 2 squared. Y squared equals 16 plus 4 is 20. Y is equal to the square root of 20. And I'll leave it as the square root of 20. And I'll write it in here. So this length is root 20. Now I have this pink triangle. It is again a right angled triangle. Even though it doesn't maybe look like it here, this is drawn in 3 dimensions. So this is a right angle, this is A, this is C, this is F, and this is my angle X. And these sides are now root 20. I'm sorry, that's not true. These sides are now 3, and AC is root 20. Now, this is always confusing, guys, because what's actually happening? But look, AC is this AC, so it is root 20. And now I can find X using SOHCAHTOA. Opposite over adjacent, so tan X is equal to the opposite over the adjacent. X is equal to the inverse tan of root 3 over 20. And the inverse tan of root 3 over 20, let us do that. Menu 1, the inverse tan of root 3, it's 3 over root 20, what am I doing? 3 over root 20 not that. This is 33.85. 33.85. He wants it to 1 decimal place, so 33.9 degrees. Okay, question 22. Simplify this, right? This question, guys, is definitely all about factorizing. So this thing, I'm gonna say it is equal to, I'm gonna take out the x. So I'm gonna factorize an x from the numerator. So this gives me x, 6x squared plus 13x minus 5. So that is, I've factorized the x. The denominator, now this, guys, hopefully is becoming familiar to you. This is a difference of two squares. If you have a squared minus b squared, you can write this as a plus b times a minus b. This is the difference of two squares. You can factorize it. So this thing is 2x squared minus 5 squared. How did I do that? Well, 2x squared is 4x squared, and 5 squared is 25. So now it's in the form a squared minus b squared. When it's like that, I can do 2x plus 5 times 2x minus 5. And that is exactly what I'm going to do here. I'm going to say this is equal to 2x plus 5 times 2x minus 5. Okay, let's sorry guys, I need to move this. I'll put it over here. Okay, over there somewhere. So now this equals x, but I want to factorize the 6x squared, and I'll do that down here too, guys. 6x squared plus 13x minus 5. Now, this is another very difficult quadratic to factorize. I'm going to guess 3x and 2x. I'm going to guess 5 and 1, and that actually will work, guys, because if I do plus 5 and minus 1. So my 3x and 2x gives me my 6x squared. My 1 and 5 gives me the 5. Different signs because this is a negative. And then if I do this times this and this times this, I will get my 15x minus 2x, which gives me like 15x minus 2x gives me 13x. So those are the factors. Now you could use your calculator like I did in one of the previous questions, and it kind of gives you a hint. Anyway, and as well, look, 2x plus 5, I'm not surprised that that's going to be there because it's going to cancel nicely. So this, the numerator is now actually x times 3x minus 1 times 2x plus 5 all divided by 2x plus 5 times 2x minus 5. And this cancels with this. And we're left with x times 3x minus 1 over 2x minus 5. And that's it. That is my answer. Put it there. Okay, done. Question 23. Boris has a bag that contains only red sweets and green sweets. He takes 2 sweets from the bag. The probability that he has exactly 1 red sweet from the bag is 12 over 35. Originally there were 3 red sweets in the bag. work out how many green sweets there were originally in the bag. Okay, let's draw a bag. There is a bag. Now he said there was 3 red, 1, 2, 3 red, and let's just say there were X green. So there's 3 red and X green. Now we're going to draw a tree diagram. So this is the first sweet, and it can be red or green. Obviously, guys, you don't have to use the colors, but why not? And this is going to be red and green, and this is going to be red and green. So this one's actually the first sweet. So this is red and red, and this is green and green. So this is sweet 1, and this is sweet 2. Okay, so we're going to put our hand in the bag and we're going to take out a sweet. What is the probability that it's red? The probability is 3 out of, what's the total? 3 plus x. So it's 3 out of the total, which is 3 plus x. The probability of green then has to be x out of 3 plus x, because look, there's x greens. Okay, this is the tricky bit. If I take out a red, how many reds are left? 2. And how many in total are left? Imagine I take out a red. Well, in total, there is x plus 2. Maybe I should have called that x plus 3, but well, maybe I'll do that right now. It makes no, I mean, it's still correct, but might look a little better. X plus 3. X plus 3, x plus 3. So there's 2, and now x plus 2 in total. Similarly, if I take a red, there's x green still, and it's out of also x plus 2. If I take a green from the first one, now there's still 3 reds, so that's going to be 3. But now there's x plus 2 in total. There's, well, it's actually x plus 2 still, because think about it, it's x plus 3 minus 1. The 1, it's a green one, but I'm subtracting a green one, but it's still out of x plus 2. And then if I take a green, there's now x minus 1 greens out of x plus 2. Okay, so that's kind of the first hard part of this question, and this is a difficult question. It says the probability that Boris takes exactly 1 red sweet is 12 over 35. Now, which of these combinations is exactly one red? Well, it's a red and a green, or a green and a red. Those are the only 2 possibilities. So a red and a green is 3 over x plus 3 times x over x plus 2. And a green and a red is x over x plus 3 times 3 over x plus 2. So it's this times this, and this times this. It says that the probability of taking 1 red sweet exactly, which would be this plus this, is equal to 12 over 35. So this plus this equals 12 over 35. Let's write that down. 3x, because I'm just going to multiply the denominators. So 3x over x plus 3 times x plus 2, plus also 3x over x plus 3 times x plus 2 equals 12 over 35. It tells us that. It tells us that plus that has to equal 12 over 35. A red and a green, or a green and a red, the probability of getting either of those 2 options is 12 over 35. Then I need to solve this. So I can add them together. I can add, because the denominators are the same, I can add the numerators. So now I have 6x over x plus 3 times x plus 2 equals 12 over 35. I can divide both sides by 6. So guys, I realize I'm going to run out of space here. So let's divide both sides by 6. I'll write it over here. X, well, let's just do this. Make this smaller over here. I'll move that up there. Okay, if I divide both sides by 6, I get x over this, x plus 3 times x plus 2. This is a hard question, obviously, guys. Equals 2 over 35. So I've just divided this by 6, which leaves me with x, and this by 6, which leaves me with 2. Then cross multiply 35x, so this times 35 equals 2 times this, 3 times x plus 2. 35x equals, leave the 2 guys outside, I'm going to do x squared plus 2x plus 3x, which is plus 5x plus 6. 35x equals 2x squared. Now I'm going to multiply by 2. 2x squared plus 10x plus 12. Nearly, guys, made a mistake. And then finally 2x squared minus 25x plus 12 equals 0. I've subtracted the 35x. Okay, now I'm going to move this up here. 2x squared minus 25x plus 12 equals 0. I need to factorize this. Again, use your calculator, guys, if it can help you, but I'm going to go 2x and x. I'm going to go 12 and 1. I know that because it's going to give me my 24x and 1x, and they both have to be minus because this is a minus and this is a plus. So this means they're the same. This means they're both minus. So 2x minus 1 times x minus 12 equals 0. 2x minus 1 equals 0, or x minus 12 equals 0. 2x equals 1, x equals 1 over 2, or x equals 12. Now think about it. X is the number of green sweets. Here it is. You can't have a half. There's a half green sweets. That doesn't make any sense. So the answer is 12. So I can actually write reject this answer. Sometimes you can reject one of the answers if the other one is, or if the other one makes sense. So the answer is 12, and that's it. Okay, obviously a hard question, guys. I've noticed in this paper particularly, you need to know how to factorize your quadratics. Look, this one, if you're struggling factorizing your quadratics, go to here, polynomial, degree 2, put in your 2, put in your negative 25, and put in your 12, and it will give you 12 and 1 over 2. So that 12 is the answer that we're looking for. So just write it down, and then you can try to figure out the factors after. You do need to show these factors, but it's definitely better to just write 12 than nothing. Okay, last question, guys, and this one's quite tricky too, I think. Although part 1 is not. Part 1 is actually very easy. So f of 5, this is f of x. F of 5 is just 3 times 5 minus 2, which is 13. That's easy. The last one is tricky because you have to complete the square for this question because we want to get the inverse of g. Okay, so g of x is 2x squared minus 20x plus 9. So we're going to let y equals 2x squared minus 20x plus 9. Okay, to complete the square, what we do is, if there's a 2 here, we're going to take out this 2, and it's going to be x squared minus 10 x, and then the plus 9 is over at the side on its own doing nothing. Leave it there, don't worry about it for now. Then we leave the 2 here. I'm going to bring in a square bracket, leave the 2, and I'm going to do the little trick here where I half the 10. So this becomes x minus 5 squared, half the 10, because when you multiply this out, you'll get 8x squared minus 10x, but you'll get plus 25, so I need to subtract 25. Now, obviously, guys, if you haven't learned this, what I'm saying makes very little sense, but this is how you complete the square, and then I have a plus 9 outside. Okay, this is then equal to, multiply this out, multiply out the big bracket. I get 2 times x minus 5 squared minus 50, and then a plus 9 at the end, which is equal to 2 times x minus 5 squared minus 41. Now, another trick, guys, if you really don't like completing the square, if you go back into the same place here, if I go menu, equation, polynomial, squared, sorry, I pressed the wrong thing, menu, let's go back to the beginning, please, menu, okay, and this time, right, go back here, polynomial, 2, degree 2, so I'm going to put in this quadratic, which is 2, negative 20, and 9. Now, we get x1 and we get x2, but what we also get is the minimum of this. The minimum occurs at 5, there's my 5, and negative 41, there's my negative 41, and the 2 is always the same. So that's a nice trick to complete the square, to make sure you're right. This number here, it'll be x minus whatever this number is there, x minus this. It'll be plus whatever number you have here. So if it's a negative, it'll be minus 41. Whatever you have there, you will write here. And the 2 is just whatever number was before the x squared, the coefficient of x squared. So that's a nice kind of, well, trick as well to complete the square if you're struggling. Anyway, this is just y. Now I need to rearrange for x and y. So what I like to do, guys, is swap x and y. We swap them because we're trying to get the inverse. So we're trying to find, well, we're going to swap these and rearrange for y. So x is equal to 2 times y minus 5 squared minus 41. I'm going to add 41 to both sides, so x plus 41 equals 2 times y minus 5 squared. Then I'm going to divide by 2, so y minus 5 squared is equal to, y minus 5 squared is equal to x plus 41 over 2. Then y, oh yeah, sorry, I'm gonna then get the square root of this to get this on its own. So, and I'm just gonna write it on this side, guys. So I'm gonna say y minus 5 equals the square root of this. So x plus 41 over 2. And then finally, we are going to add this 5. So I'm going to say y equals this plus 5, or 5 plus this, 5 plus x plus 41 over 2. Now, it says x has to be greater or equal to 5. So the inverse function, okay, so the inverse function is going to be this. Well, this is a little bit tricky because it's 5 plus or minus this. Now it says x, the domain of the function, right, let me write this down. Domain of g of x is greater or equal to 5. Now that means the range of g minus 1 of x is y is greater or equal to 5. Because if you recall, the domain of g of x is equal to the range of g minus 1 of x. And that means for this function here, which is the inverse function, y has to be bigger or equal to 5. And if y is bigger or equal to 5, then this has to be, because it could be plus or minus this. But, well, I'll put that in, and then over here I'll say as range of g minus 1 is g minus 1 or y is greater or equal to 5. Y must be or g minus 1 of x has to be 5 plus the square root of x plus 41 over 2. Okay, that very last bit is complicated, guys, but I think they do want you to understand why you are rejecting the minus, and it's because of this. It's because of the range of g minus 1. Okay, hopefully that makes sense, guys. That paper, I would argue, while yes, some of the questions at the end were not easy, I would argue compared to some of the previous papers I've done, that was not a bad paper. Let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree with that. Always happy to hear other people's opinion, but there we go. That's the paper finished, and I'll see you for the next one.